Have you ever imagined witnessing something completely out of the ordinary? Something that simply sends shivers down your spine and confirms that feeling that the spiritual world is much more real than we imagine. Well, that's exactly what happened when a drone, initially used only to record a silent procession in a dense forest, ended up recording a stunning image. And don't think it was a simple coincidence. The strength and energy that hovered in that place were undeniably supernatural. In this video, I'll tell you all the sacred and mysterious details of this impressive experience that shook the hearts of every believer present. But before we dive into this story that will leave you speechless, write down the names of people and relatives who need prayer in the comments. Let's add all these names to our main prayer with a rosary, so that divine blessings and protection may reach each one of them. It all started in a virtually unknown village, nestled in the heart of a dense forest. Although isolated, this small town maintained a very strong Catholic tradition, marked by processions, rosaries, singing, and a contagious devotion to Our Lady. There was a small chapel there, simple on the outside, but filled with a special atmosphere on the inside. The faithful always felt that this was a place chosen by divine intercession, and it was not uncommon to hear stories of people being cured of pain, ailments, or even serious illnesses after praying fervently in front of the altar. The fact is that this chapel, however modest it may seem, emanated a mystery that attracted even the most skeptical, thanks to the countless miraculous stories recorded since its founding. On that particular afternoon, the residents were planning a procession in devotion to Our Lady. Colorful flags hung from each door, candles carefully lit, and flowers scattered along the path made the atmosphere even more sacred and festive. Families organized themselves to walk together, singing hymns and holding rosaries, all with light hearts and full of gratitude. But there was something new that day. A young man, fascinated by technology, decided to use his drone to film the procession, believing that he could immortalize every detail of this demonstration of faith. No one could have imagined what would be revealed by the camera lens that would fly over the forest. As the drone flew through the sky, the people below walked slowly, chanting prayers and songs in unison. Suddenly, a flash of light filled the young man's control screen. A very strong light descended from above, as if the sky had opened up specifically for that procession. Many of those present, who looked up to admire the treetops, were overcome by an indescribable feeling, almost like a welcoming hug that warmed their chests and made even the most hardened and rational feel a surge of living faith. Some said they saw a white shape, as if it were the silhouette of a celestial figure, hovering over the faithful. For others, it was just the sunlight coming through a gap in the clouds. But those who were there, who experienced that moment, assure us that the light was more than just a weather phenomenon. The reactions were instantaneous. Children stopped crying and remained in absolute silence, as if they were in the presence of something greater and sacred. Elderly people who were walking slowly gained new energy and continued in the procession with surprising strength. Men and women began to pray with an emotion that transcends words. The drone, up high, recorded all of this impeccably, almost as if it had been guided by invisible hands to the exact point where it could best capture that luminous manifestation. Soon after, the light spread across the treetops, reflecting a yellowish tone that, according to some believers, resembled a halo of light from the Blessed Sacrament. Interestingly, this type of phenomenon had already been reported on other occasions in that forest. Older residents said that, in the early hours of the morning when the moon illuminated the place more intensely, it was possible to hear chants coming from the chapel. And there are those who claim to have seen, on nights of intense prayer, small beams of light appearing out of nowhere, almost like stars wandering near the treetops. But no episode had been captured so clearly, with such solid evidence and such sharp images, as what the drone managed to record. This led many to say, without hesitation, that this was truly the presence of Our Lady, a sign to strengthen the faith of those who were wavering. After the whole event, the village was deeply moved. People from various nearby regions began to arrive to see the chapel. They wanted to see where that miraculous light had descended and to feel, themselves, the same Marian presence that had been so talked about. Many believers organized themselves into groups to pray the rosary, participate in novenas and ask for Our Lady's intercession in all impossible causes. It was as if the phenomenon had rekindled the flame of faith, making that place even more sought after for spiritual retreats and moments of devotion. The video recorded by the drone was circulated from hand to hand, whether on cell phones or social media, and each share was accompanied by a blessing, an amen, and a sincere wish that the graces of heaven would reach every heart that watched the images. The truth is that, beyond any scientific explanation, the most striking thing was what everyone felt. The inner peace, the warmth that invaded the soul, and the certainty that we were not alone. There is no definitive proof about the exact nature of that light, but what cannot be denied is the impact it caused. Many found similarities with reports of Marian apparitions in other parts of the world, while others saw it only as a sudden change in the weather. However, the faith of the people of that village, which was already strong, multiplied, and devotion to Our Lady reached an indescribable level. For the residents, it is as if every tree in the forest now holds the memory of that unique visit, transforming the place into a living sanctuary of spirituality. In our daily lives, however simple they may be, we can also experience experiences of faith like this, even if they are not always so extraordinary. The power of a sincere prayer, the practice of forgiving those who offend us, the continuous search for inner peace and conversion of the heart can bring forth small lights in our routines. When we turn to God and seek the intercession of Our Lady, we realize that there are daily signs of divine love all around us. The opportunity for a new beginning, the answer that arrives at the right time, the consolation during a difficult time. So, if you know someone who needs this light in their life, also mention this person's name at this time. We will include all the names in our main prayer with the rosary, so that each one can feel the comfort that only faith can provide. And now I want to know your opinion. What do you think of this inexplicable phenomenon captured by the drone? Do you believe that it was really the presence of Our Lady illuminating the procession, or do you think that it could all have been just a coincidence of nature? Share your thoughts here in the comments, as it is always very special to hear the stories and perspectives of all of you. And of course, if you liked this video, be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel. That way, you will help us to spread this message of faith and hope even further. May God be with you, and until next time.